Is there anybody in the American League that scares you? A single team. Is there a single team that possibly scares you that the Yankees don't have a serious, significant opportunity to beat going forward?
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. I'm Brian McKeon. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine flavor an upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to www.5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. On today's show, we'll tell you about some news around the league and let you know about two huge series that are going to be played in the American League this week. That will affect the Yankees' playoff positioning. But first, Yankees versus the Orioles, the weekend recap. The Yankees take 3 out of 4 from Baltimore, which was a must-have. Now, I mentioned what happened in the American League. That is actually crucial because there is some wild stuff going on across the entire American League, really across all of baseball, but it does actually affect the New York Yankees going forward. It is wild what's going on. So they still hold the top position in the American League wild card. But secretly and quietly, they're only 2 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays, who are going to be playing the Boston Red Sox. It's crazy what's going on. So the Yankees actually have an opportunity to still catch them for the division. It's wild what happened. Let me get to the series and discuss what happened in Baltimore, and then in the next segment, we'll talk about what's going to be going on playoff implication-wise, because it's all going on around us, and it really is crazy. I do like, now besides stuff going on in the National League, the Yankees are the hottest team going into the postseason right now. They have 6 games left, but as it is right now, the Yankees are the hottest team in baseball when it comes to how they played over the last month. I don't want to be the person that is a skeptic or is starting any stuff or anything, but that is the position that you always want to be in going into the postseason, right? You want to be the hottest team going into the postseason. You don't want to play the team that's been playing the best baseball over the last month. The Yankees have been that team. They have been. I mean, face it. Their bullpen's been a lot better. Their starting staff's been a lot better. And they're able to hit with anybody in the league. I don't see anybody, and you guys can leave it in the comments, and I'm interested to see what you guys actually think. Is there anybody in the American League that scares you? A single team. Is there a single team that possibly scares you that the Yankees don't have a serious, significant opportunity to beat going forward? I don't think they'd be, honestly, an underdog pretty much against anyone they'd play going forward in the American League. That's how good they've been. Sunday's game. Sunday's game was a rarity because the Yankees won a game in extra innings on the road, which doesn't really happen very often, as you guys know. They played it like it was a home extra innings game, honestly. First, let's get to that pitching. Cam Schlittler gives you 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned. It was only on a solo shot, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Exactly what they needed because, again, this is a game that they could have been tied. The Blue Jays, the Orioles could have tied this series. And if you get out of Baltimore to 2-2 split, I don't think you feel as confident being down 3 games to the Blue Jays going forward. 2 games actually makes it reachable. And I think Cam Schlittler is vying for that 3rd starter spot. And I might actually get it going into the postseason. He's been that good. The game was 0-0 going into the bottom of the 5th inning, 1-1 heading into the bottom of the 6th. And, Boone had a blunder in the 7th to take the bat out of Stanton's hands. He should have, as the manager, and this is, why you're paid as a baseball manager, to realize in that spot with the base open at first base that they're going to walk Giancarlo Stanton in that spot. So you basically took the bat out of Stanton's hands and then immediately had to get a pinch runner in for him because the game was close. So Stanton did absolutely nothing in this game. The hardest part for Stanton's day was getting dressed because he walked out of the dugout, got walked, went to first base, went back to the showers. That's how little of an effort you basically, if you're Boone, without being able to see the Orioles do that in front of you, you basically wasted Stanton's roster spot for the day. So good work. Then we get to extra innings. Yankees load the bases, and then Ben Rice takes a ball that kind of sunk right down the middle of the plate, and he just crushed this ball to right center field. Gets the grand slam there. Jazz doubles it up. Well, not doubles it up, but Jazz adds on with the solo home run in extra innings, his 31st of the year. And the Yankees poured it on. 7-1 score, which you would never have expected going into extra innings. Yankees win that game, and it was an absolutely huge win. for the team. It really was. Volpe actually had an RBI single too in extra innings, which was huge too. Bullpen was actually really good. Devin Williams, happy birthday. He looked really good. He's only allowed an earned run in 2 of his last 16 appearances, so he's been really, really good for the Yankees. 32 strikeouts, 15 walks. He struck out 55% of the batters that he's faced. So if he can start getting things going with how Bednar's looked, that could be really positive. Also, I like the fact that Duvall got himself into trouble late and was able to get himself out of the trouble. Don't like the fact that he got himself into trouble, but getting yourself out of that trouble late, absolutely massive for the Yankees. Needed that huge series victory, just huge performance on Sunday. Also, the most the Yankees have scored in extra innings since May of 1976 is a little cool factoid for you guys there. So again, after that game, 2-game lead, 2-game deficit on Toronto, 3-game lead over Boston for that first wild card spot. Boston's going into Toronto, which is a massive series of both of those teams. So Boston can either help the Yankees out in either way. They either lose those games in Toronto and the Yankees create themselves more of a lead, or Boston beats Toronto and the Yankees can catch them in the division. So either way, the Yankees are happy with either result going on in that series. Saturday, Judge and Stanton both homer in the same game. Number 49 for Judge and number 21 for Stanton, which is absolutely insane. 450th career home run for Stanton, who then had met the kid who caught the ball, which is really cool. The father and the son gave the ball back to Stanton, didn't want anything from Stanton, which I thought was pretty neat. Stanton gave him a signed bat, which was really cool. Yankees got a 6-1 victory in this game. Rodon had 7 strong innings. He was unbelievable. Also had 8 strikeouts, which was really great to see. He's 2 away, if you've been following my strikeout count. So he's going to hit the 200 marker in the next game. Really happy to see that. Plus, Weaver and Bednar closed it out for them, which I really like to see as well. Jazz and Max Fried on Saturday, too, as a 2.92 ERA now, Max Fried. Rodon is at 3.04. They're the only teammates in Major League Baseball with qualified ERAs below 3.30. So say what you want about the Yankees' rotation this year and the injuries they've had. That is unbelievable that those two guys have given you that. Both of them, too, over 17 wins at this point. Everything you could have asked for out of those two guys. Going into the season with Garrett Cole's injury, we both told you on the show, me and Stacy, they were going to have to be excellent. Both Rodon and Fried for the Yankees to have a legitimate chance. They were excellent. We get to the end of the year. They've both got 1 start left. They were excellent. They both were key in big spots. And Max Fried had a brief stint of not pitching to his capability throughout 6 starts that I'm actually going to credit the blister on his hand. They both proved themselves and were both excellent throughout the entire year. Schlittler coming in the middle of the year really was a help for them. But could you, and I can't help, this is the glass half empty guy that I am sometimes. I can only think what this would have been with Cole. Because, I mean, you have these 3 guys that are so excellent. It would have been amazing. Regardless, unbelievable work out of those 2 guys this entire season. Friday's game. That's the loss in this series. It was a letdown game. Jazz got into the 30-30 club. I guess that was the positive for the Yankees in this spot. You lose the game 4-2. Jazz also, too, by the way. This is crazy. First 30-30 Yankees since Soriano. No, 3. Which is wild to think about. 3rd Yankee overall. Bobby Bonds and Soriano, and did it twice. Jazz did it now, too. So we'll see if that winds up keeping him. Trevor Rogers lowered his ERA to 1.35 with 6 scoreless innings at the Orioles topped the Yankees. Unbelievable how good Trevor Rogers has been for the Orioles. Ryan Mountcastle was the star of this game, had a home run and a sacrifice fly, driving the runs. Will Warren was fine, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Wasn't enough, though. Yankees lose that game. It was a letdown spot, but again, you take 3 4 in the series, so you're okay with it. And Thursday start we did discuss earlier. Big picture, wonderful job for the New York Yankees this weekend. It was exactly what you needed. Again, we're not going to sit here and say that you need to take 4 games from the Orioles. Taking 3 out of 4 when the Blue Jays lost their series was absolutely massive. And hey, it's 2 games with 6 to go. Crazier stuff's happened. Crazier stuff this season in the American League and the National League has happened when it comes to blown leads and stuff. So it's available for the Yankees. It's possible. The Blue Jays don't have a cakewalk schedule. And I'm going to say it quite frankly, the Yankees do have a cakewalk schedule going forward. They do. And that could come back to bite me in the worst way possible for saying. But if you go by just records, it's there. Starting on Tuesday, the Yankees will play the White Sox for 3 games. Starting on Friday, they finish the year off with the Orioles. All 6 of those games are home. Crazier stuff's happened. It has. And if you look at what the Blue Jays have remaining, they play the Red Sox for 3. That starts on Tuesday. And then they go into another series after that. And again, the Blue Jays, I know, have been good. I get it. But then they play Tampa. 2 divisional matchups. 2 teams that are pesky. Tampa's out of it, but they're still a 500 team. Is it crazy to think the Yankees catch them? It's not. So we're sitting here now at this point. Wild stuff. We'll discuss what happened in the rest of the league and the implications going forward. Because there's a chance the Yankees aren't even playing in the wild card series with how crazy things have been. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, and also the notification button so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. That link is in our description. You'll get texts from us, and you can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. You'll also get top priority during Fan Mail Friday. We send out lineups during the season, roster moves, and breaking news so you don't have to check social media. And there's a new added perk. We have a private Discord where you can commiserate during games. There's a 14-day free trial available there. Coming up, there's 2 series being played this week, and that they don't directly involve the Yankees, but Yankee fans should be paying a lot of attention to the results. We'll talk about them both coming up next. This episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. It's available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are also a game changer. Now, I got to be honest with you, I've used the caffeine toothpicks. They're great for long drives. They give me energy without the jitters. And the flavors like peppermint watermelon ice actually taste great. I love the watermelon flavor. I'll always continue to say it, so it'll never get old for me. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com. Use code ONEWORD LOCKED ON for 10% off your first order. You must be 21 or older. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code LOCKED ON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients, with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love the most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. I always reach for my favorite flavor, which is watermelon. I also love the cherry and the grape because it's refreshing, and it gives me that quick lift before one of my busy days. But I've always been eyeing their other flavors. Strawberry banana kind of piques my interest, and strawberry watermelon too. Honestly, I love how fast it kicks in, and it's sugar-free, so I don't have to worry about crashing later on. Perfect way to get through your day. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new in-store and online at www.5hourenergy.com, or go to Amazon today. Guys, just a reminder, Fan Mail Friday is every single Friday that where we will give you and answer your questions. Locked On Yankees Insiders have top priority for that, but you can always submit your questions on the YouTube page. You go over to where we have our link on the post comment right there, and Stacy will put up the time that the Fan Mail Friday is due. You guys can put it in all week. We will peel the questions from there, and we will answer them for you on Friday's episode. 2 exciting series going forward. Really cool stuff. If you just, we did all complain when baseball released their new playoff format and how many teams get in. And then you look at it further, and it creates this kind of interest late in the season, and it is kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. So Blue Jays, Red Sox, that's in Toronto. It starts on Tuesday, 3-game series. Why is that huge? Well, the Yankees still have a chance to catch Toronto. If the Red Sox can beat them, the Yankees have a 2-game or back 2 games. But also, if Toronto is able to beat Boston, the Yankees only extend their lead even more in that AL wildcard spot. So it really, at this point, the Yankees should not lose the AL wildcard. They should have that first spot. Worst case scenario, the Yankees should be hosting home games in the American League wildcard. It should be that series should be played in the Bronx. Absolute worst case scenario. Best case scenario, the Red Sox help them out, and the Red Sox would up playing Toronto in the first round of the wild card. It's so fluid right now and everything's going crazy. And I'll say this too, because the Blue Jays did clinch a playoff spot. Yankees, by the way, their magic number is down to 3 at this point. Blue Jays clinched a playoff spot on Sunday. And it was their first playoff spot that they've clinched since 2023. If there's a team to blow big leads and to not be able to achieve what they want late in the season, probably the Toronto Blue Jays. It's been that over the last couple decades. So let's just keep that in mind. Yankees could still win the American League East. That is absolutely massive. It's a key series to look into. Let's also go to the other side of the American League and let's check out what's going on in the American League Central. The Tigers. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to this. Tigers have lost 6 in a row. Before that, they lost another 6 in a row. And slowly but surely, the Cleveland Guardians went on a 10-game winning streak. Now, they lost on Sunday. But before that, they were on a 10-game winning streak. The Cleveland Guardians had a 15.5-game deficit behind the Detroit Tigers. The division is separated by 1 game right now. It is one of the all-time blown leads in sports history. So we talked about earlier how you want to be the team that's hot going into the postseason. Well, if the Guardians find their way in, they will be one of the most terrifying teams you could possibly play in a postseason series. Luckily, shouldn't, and I say that with a key word, shouldn't affect the Yankees. If the Guardians somehow win that series and become the American League Central champions, Yankees will avoid them in the first round, likely. Yankees could also win that wild card and wind up playing, who knows, they could play Cleveland in the first round. They could wind up playing Detroit, who's reeling and playing awful. There's many scenarios of the Yankees going up playing right now. That is massive, though, because Detroit could wind up losing that division. With a 14-game lead in the division over the second-place team and a 15.5-game lead over the Guardians, it would, to date, be the largest blown lead in baseball history for a division title. Absolutely insane stuff. How Detroit has fallen apart to the level they have. They're not getting starting pitching. They're honestly not very prime going into the postseason, because if you don't have all your starting pitching available, pitching the way it needs to, their second starter right now is Casey Mize. And he's not been good for them. And Scooble's great, but no bullpen. The team's not hitting like it was early on in the year. And we talked about this a lot on the show. Again, you want your team to be good. We know that. There is something to be said about not being dominant going through the season. And by locking things up in May, you wind up coasting throughout the rest of the year. Some may view that as a good thing, but playing competitive baseball is also good for you too. And yeah, that lead is nice that Detroit had. But when you're coasting and you're playing with your food for all those months, you allow teams to get back in. And again, this has a lot to do with Cleveland going on a 10-game winning streak and just running through the league. But this kind of stuff happens, and now it's a 1-game lead, and now it's right there for Cleveland. And get this. On Tuesday, Cleveland has a 3-game series in Cleveland against Detroit, which is going to be the biggest series of the year. So Cleveland controls their own destiny going forward, which is insane to think about. They could actually win that division. Wild stuff. I do want to ask you guys this in the comments, and I did just read the Fan Mail Friday promo beforehand, so I want you guys to comment through Fan Mail Friday as well. If you're a Yankee fan going forward, and I don't love these discussions normally, because I generally am more of the mindset of you play who you play. It doesn't affect that. You don't affect that. You don't make that decision. You play who you play. But as a Yankee fan out there, realistically, matchup-wise, for what's better for the Yankees, who do you want? Boston, Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit, Houston? It could be, but it likely won't be. Who do you want? Because I would have told you a month ago, the team that I at least want is Texas. Because I don't want to see Evaldi and DeGrom and Leiter. But Texas played their way out of it. Do you want to see Boston and possibly have to go up against Whitlock and Bayo? Probably not. I guess Detroit, Scooble, the fear of an ace. But Cleveland's been so hot, so I want to face them. As weird as this might sound, I want the Astros. That's their best option. Because the Astros just aren't a good baseball team right now. The only problem with that, Astros aren't getting in. I'll tell you more about that on the other side and what happened in the rest of the American League. Plus, I want to dive in with you guys on that National League situation too, because I got to go at Mets fans a little bit. Might not be the time. I'm going to say there's the time. Because all I heard in the offseason was how sad I was going to be about Juan Soto leaving the Yankees. And now the man who took all the money is present day, present time, outside of a playoff spot. Sucks to suck. We'll talk about it on the other side. But coming up, we'll get to the news around the league, plus that wild card picture that I so desperately want to talk about. You guys have probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. But there are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people, and it's not just the hype. This is a supplement clinically tested and targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. And the best part, it's easy. You take 4 pills with the meal. There's no prescription needed at all. You can see thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. And for a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code one word, Locked On MLB. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's your 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving a lot of money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes and see clear data visuals, getting smart categorization of your spending. And finally, you can feel in control of all of your money. Whether you're touching a spreadsheet or not, it is the easiest way to get all of your money organized. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code one word Locked On MLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code one word Locked On MLB. Guys, good news. Not only do we cover your team every day, but we're also giving you instant episodes after every single game. Check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman, and it appears right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. It also streams on our YouTube channel. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. I want to start this third segment off by saying I am aware sunscreen exists. Thank you guys for letting me know in the comments. I went out to be a good cousin and watch both of my cousins participate in soccer in Philadelphia this weekend, and I forgot my sunscreen, and I didn't expect the sun to have a UV of 7 out in public. That's why my face looks like this. I was being a good cousin. So give me credit for where credit's due. I will take the suffering gladly. Another team that took the suffering, clearly, the Chicago Cubs, who had a chance to catch the Brewers in the division going into the weekend and then get swept by the Cincinnati Reds, who the Cincinnati Reds are now in playoff position in the third wildcard spot because the New York Mets forgot how to win baseball games. The Mets lose 2 out of 3 to the Washington Nationals at home with a chance to keep their playoff stakes alive. It was a 1-game lead going into Sunday. The Reds win, the Mets lose. The Reds have the tiebreaker over the Mets. The Mets find themselves out of a playoff spot for the first time since April 5th. Yep. The first time since April 5th. The Mets are out of a postseason spot. And I'm not sitting here on Locked On Yankees, Josh at the Mets, I'm not here for that. We did it enough throughout the year. We definitely discussed it with Mets fans. I want to take just 3 to 4 seconds to just sit and laugh at you guys, or just give you the sly little smile that I'm going to give you as a Yankee fan. Because all I heard, all me and Stacy heard, is how Juan Soto loved being a Met. Alex Cohen, family environment. And me and Stacey both sat here and told you, yeah, it probably has a lot more to do with $760 million. But then when we brought that up, oh, the Mets are going to go further than the Yankees. We'll meet you in the World Series. We'll see you in October. Damn. Mets might be going home in September. Shame. Hate to see it. But this is what a $389 million payroll gets you. Apparently, it gets you missing the postseason. Cincinnati's hot. I wouldn't want to play Cincinnati going forward. They can catch someone. They do all of the things that we desperately want the Yankees to do consistently. They put the ball in play. They field really solidly. They are going to be a team that's going to be a difficult problem to get out of the postseason. A problem to get out of the postseason. So they have that third wild card spot. Both of those teams are 80 and 76. Mets are going into Wrigley. So the Cubs could directly affect both sides of that wild card picture. They could get swept by the Reds and then sweep the Mets to basically set up the Reds to get into the postseason. Reds are going to play the Pirates Tuesday through Thursday. So take that into account for yourselves. Reds get an easy matchup against the Pirates. Mets have to go into Wrigley. And then the Mets go to Miami. And if the Marlins love doing anything, it's playing spoiler baseball. On top of that, the Marlins are playing excellent baseball right now. They've won 6 in a row. And the Marlins do this every year, by the way. They go into next year giving their fans hope because they play well to close the year out. But they can keep the Mets out of the postseason. And teams get extra motivated when they have nothing to play for to keep other teams out of the postseason. So we'll see what winds up going on there. Plus, if you thought the Mets were, all right, it's only the Reds, only going to catch the Reds, the Diamondbacks are a game back of them too. So all these teams in the National League are just chasing each other and coming back up each other. Now, the Diamondbacks are playing the Dodgers for 3 games, so that makes it a little more difficult in that situation. But still, overall, absolutely insane NL wildcard picture, and it is wild that the Mets are getting caught in that spot. For the AL wildcard picture, just quickly to go over before we get out of here, just to keep you guys updated for a second. So the Red Sox go into that series with the Blue Jays. Red Sox are currently 3 games back of the Yankees for that wildcard spot. That's the 1 and the 2. So right now they would play each other in the Bronx if the playoffs started tomorrow. In that third spot, as we sit right now, is the Cleveland Guardians. They have actually gotten themselves back into a postseason spot. Now, they're 1 game behind the Detroit Tigers. They play them for the American League Central title. Right behind the Cleveland Guardians, who are currently out of the playoff spot, but because they have the tiebreaker Cleveland, it's not because of the records, is Houston. Houston just got swept by the Mariners. The Mariners and the Astros were tied on Friday for that American League West title. And then the Mariners swept the Astros in Houston. So the Astros now move into that wild card spot. The Mariners have a 3-game lead on the division, and we're going to clinch it probably any moment now at this point. Sunday night baseball ended. Mariners won that series, swept that series. Astros moved to that first team out scenario in the wild card spot. Now, again, they are tied. Cleveland has the tiebreaker, though, so it is kind of a messy situation there. Behind the Astros are the Texas Rangers, who pretty much have fallen out of it. They're 5 games behind, so they're gone. Tampa Bay was eliminated. Kansas City is about to get eliminated. They're 6 out. So that whole situation is where that's at right now. The only teams that have a chance to get in that final wild card spot are pretty much Houston or Cleveland, whoever's going to get that spot. It could be Seattle, I guess, if Houston catches them, but it would have to be miraculous at this point. The Tigers could wind up in that spot also if Cleveland catches them and beats them, which is very likely because the Tigers are not able to win games anymore for whatever reason. So that's where it sits right now. Again, the top wild card will play the second wild card. The third wild card will play the third best division winner. A little confusing, I know. So the Yankees could wind up in any of those situations. It's really not clear where they're going to wind up at this point in time. So keep your eyes peeled because that is going to be a lot of fun going forward. In other news around the league, Mike Trout hit his 400th home run, and the fan wanted to give the ball back to Mike Trout. And the fan only asked out of Mike Trout, "I just want to have a catch with you." Mike Trout went on the field with him after the game, and they had a catch. Pretty cool stuff to have a catch with Mike Trout after the game. Also, Cal Raleigh in the Mariners game, and then in that Sunday night baseball game in Houston, hit his 58th home run of the year. He is 5 back of breaking Judge's record, 4 of tying. They have a 4-game series. They have 2 series left. The Mariners will play the Rockies, though, in Seattle, starting on Tuesday. So if you're a little nervous, the Rockies are a team that definitely tends to give up runs a lot. So I don't know if he'll be able to hit 5. Then the Mariners are home for the Dodgers, which is a tough way to end the series because the Dodgers could be playing for something still. Right now, if I had to make a prediction, I don't think Cal Raleigh catches Judge. 5-2 series is tough. Can be done, sure, but it's going to be a really tough situation for them. Speaking of the Rockies, too, before I close out, the Rockies took 2 out of 3 from the Los Angeles Angels over the weekend, clinching not having the worst record of all time. The Rockies officially can't have a record worse than what the Angels had last year. Not the Angels, the White Sox last year. So there is that whole situation, too, if you were keeping your eyes peeled. The Rockies ended their season in Coors Field, their last home games of the season, on Sunday in a pitiful, disgusting display of baseball the Rockies have put on all year. So keep your eyes peeled on these games. It is going to be that AL Central race is crazy. The AL West race is really crazy, although the Mariners are kind of taking a little bit of a lead there. And the wild card is just nuts. So the Yankees still have really no clear picture really of who they're going to have playing going forward. It's just the whole thing's a mess and it's crazy and it's going to be a lot of fun. And this is exactly what Major League Baseball was looking for when they changed up their whole playoff form. So I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. For your second listen, find the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. It's every game, every night until a World Series champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. For Stacey Gotsulias, who will be there tomorrow, I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you guys tomorrow.